Well, I'm Kenny Lowry, and today we're going to talk about one of our styles of pumps. Now, if your fountain, this pump has only available in certain gallons per hour. The majority of our fountains are going to come with one of these pumps, and you'll be able to know it's a blue and black. Not all of them are going to come this because there again, this is restricted to certain flows, so we can't use it on all fountains. But if your fountain will work with this particular series of pumps, then you're going to get this. This is going to come with a base attached to it. You can take that off, which is what we did here. We don't need that on there, so you can take that off if you want, kind of throw it away. Don't really need it, or you can leave it on, it's totally up to you. It does have adjustable flow right here on the front, so you can adjust your flow of water. And it has a cover here that you can take off, kind of twist it, take it off. That's your intake cover. If you want to get into the impeller, if you need to service it, if some debris gets in there, it stops your impeller. If the impeller goes bad, it's damaged, and you need to change the impeller with a part, then this is the way you take it off. Let me take this off. Don't need that on there, and we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to take that off. This is your hose fitting, and I'm going to take this off too because we're going to talk about that and reassemble it. So take that off. You pull that out. That's your impeller. That's a rubber O-ring around it. Make sure that that stays on it. And if you need to take that out, you can take that out. You can see right there. Take that out if you need to change it. But it does nest in there, and it's flat against there. That's your impeller. Should be spinning freely. You go to put your cover back on. Make sure that O-ring is on there, and you simply twist it back on. Now, you do have a couple of choices in your intake cover. This one's got a sponge filter on it. I don't like sponge filters. They get stopped up with debris, especially dust and pollen. We found you don't need that. Debris is not usually an issue with these in-ground systems, so we don't need that sponge filter. So we're not going to use that. Throw that back in the box. So we're going to use this one. It doesn't have sponge filter. That's the way it should look. That's your dial on it. You're probably going to start all the way turned up. If you're losing too much water and you want to try to minimize water loss, then you can turn your pump down, and that basically the more flow water you have, the more the splash, the more water loss you have. So you can kind of set that yourself. You're also going to come with several different fittings, and that might be a little confusing, so we want to talk about that a little bit. You're going to have this fitting right here. This is the one you're going to need. You see it's threaded on the inside, threaded on the outside. You'll put it on there like this so that your threads on the outside are pointed up. Put that on, and then that's going to allow you to put your hose connection on. Now, this has a rubber O-ring in it. Make sure you put that in there so it'll be watertight around it. So that goes, let me show you, let me disassemble it the way it's going to come. So it's going to come like that. Put that in like that. Put your O-ring gasket in there. And then you'll screw that onto that fitting of the pump. Nice tight fit. Now, this is a graduated option here for your hose. This is 3/4, that's 1 inch, 1 1/4, and then 1 1/2. If you've got a 1 inch hose, don't slide it over to 3/4 to get to that 1 inch hose. Cut that off. Cut that top section off to get to the right size of the hose that you're going to be using. You don't want to leave that on there. That will diminish your water flow. So don't slide it over. You might have an 1.5 inch hose, and yeah, you can slide it all the way down to here, but you're going to then diminish your amount of water flow. So cut it off down to the level that you're going to actually be using. Now this pump has a intelligent technology. It's going to come with a little manual. You should read that little manual, and it's going to tell you basically it has a sensor that when the impeller is stopped, it's going to slow itself down. It's going to cut the power to itself. You're trying to prevent your pump from burning up. If you run low on water, it's going to slow itself down, cut itself off. It's going to do that 3 times, and then eventually it'll cut itself off entirely. Once it cuts itself off entirely, it's waiting for you to fix whatever the issue is. If it's low water or debris in around your intake of your pump that's not allowing the water to go through, or if there's debris has actually got into the impeller, if the impeller's damaged, whatever it is. After you fix it, then you're going to need to reset it. So you're going to unplug the pump and then plug it back in. The pump's going to take off a little bit slowly. It doesn't take off all at once, and that's all technology to help you keep your pump from burning up. That's what it's designed to do. So that is that pump. That is the majority of the pumps we're going to use is going to be that pump. Wherever possible, we're going to use this pump. So if your fountain comes and it doesn't have this pump, it's got the other pump, it's because maybe this pump didn't have the correct size flow for your particular one. So that's the way you'll get it. That's the way you'll set it up. As always, you have any questions, you can reach me at 540-948-2239 or email me, Kenny@southerngraceva.com.